Welcome to the Choosing Happiness podcast with me, your host, Rüdrani Devi, the Happiness Lady. In these conversations, we will be discussing an uncommon way to find joy in your life with weekly special guests. Did you know you could choose your happy? Won't you come and play and discover how these magical tools could work for you? Let's do this! Well, howdy, y'all. Rüdrani Devi, the Happiness Lady. I even wrote a book about it. Choosing Happiness, an uncommon way to find joy in your life, which is why we have this podcast, this little yellow book right here. Now, I am delighted, beyond the beyonds, to introduce my next guest, Mariana Ruiz. Ciao, bella mia, and thank you so much for being on the podcast with me today.
Thank you, Rüdrani. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be here with you. I already told you how much I like your book. So thank you for having me here. And you make my name sound like Italian, and I am Mexican.
I'm sorry, honey. I make everybody sound Italian because I'm Italian. I'm an Italian with an Indian name living in America. So it is what it is. Yeah, no, I do. I actually do that with everybody. The only person I can't seem to do that with is Alyssa. Alicia. I guess that could work. That's my producer, y'all. She behind the scenes. So she makes sure we look and sound good. Anyway, I digress. I'm thrilled. I got to meet you in person at CF training, which was incredible. Certified Facilitators training, for those of y'all, Access has acronyms for everything. And you were like, we were actually where they were selling the books. And you held up your book, or you held up the book, one of the books. And you're like, yeah. This book changed my life. I was like, really? Pretty powerful. It's a little tiny book, but it's chock full of some beautiful tools.
Yeah.
Access consciousness tools. We love them tools. They work. So you found the little yellow book, you found Access. How did you find Access consciousness anyway, my love?
I wanted to help a friend that was starting with his own entrepreneur thing here in Mexico. And he told me, I'm starting these classes that I am doing that. And I said, okay, I'm bored. I have money, so I'll do it just to help you. And 3 years later, I am here with you, being a CF, living the tools of Access consciousness and being really, really, really happy with my life here in Mexico.
It's funny because you said I was bored with my life and decided I would help him out. It's funny because this is such a humanoid trait, y'all. I'm bored all the time, and yet I am constantly going. So how is that even possible, right? It's like, unless I have 10 things going at once, I am bored out of my mind. I'm like, please, somebody give me something else to do. Until I pass out hard. All the things. What was it like? So bars, that was my introduction. Well, yeah, actually, I actually was at a friend's house where Gary was channeling. That was my introduction. But there was a woman there. Yeah, it's crazy girl, my life.
Wow.
Access actually started in my hometown, Nashville, Tennessee. And in the US of A. And there's Gary channeling. And Dr. Dane, the co-founder, because Gary's a founder, Dr. Dane's co-founder, he was there too, but he was just Dane. He was like just this normal guy, hadn't gotten, into all the other stuff yet. And I go because a friend of mine knew I channeled, and he was like, you need to come see this guy channel. So here I am, and I meet a woman there, and she was like, let's trade. So I would do readings for her, and she would run my bars. And girl, I would pass out. I was like, I felt like I was being cheated because I would wake up like an hour and a half later. I'm like, you done? Did we do anything? It's like she would hold my head up for that last little part, and it would wake me up, and I'm like, look at my watch and be like, girl, every time you put your hands on my head, I pass out. And it was like, and they say this, y'all, it's like the best massage you've ever had with your clothes on. And it's the truth. So that had to have been your introduction, right? You took this guy's class. Was it a bars class?
Yeah, he told me, I'm giving this thing called bars, a bars class you're going to learn. And I was like, oh, okay, that's perfect. I mean, it's a Saturday, so I didn't have anything to do. And also I was asking a lot to the universe. I didn't know that I was asking at that moment, but I was asking to the universe to bring me something that changed my life, because my life was apparently perfect. I had the things all worked out for me. I had money, I had friends, I had my house, my car. Everything was like okay in my life for this reality, for
Yeah, yeah.
this space. So
And,
so
and it wasn't enough, y'all. Can you hear how greedy is she? She's so greedy. It's like, this is not enough for me. And most people would be like, oh, I have made it. I have the house. I have the car. I have
yeah,
the money. And she's like, it's Saturday. I'm bored. I think I'll
yeah.
take the class. Yeah.
So
Surprise.
I took the class, and 2 weeks later I met a guy that became my lover.
This gets juicy about a minute, y'all.
Yeah, but he became my lover, and then 1 year later, I had a company. I had a company with 15 people in charge. I had this amazing life worked out for me, and suddenly I met this guy. I fell in love, head over heels, and he betrayed me, and he took all my clients, everything. So I was I was very on a financial like
Like a roller
down,
coaster.
yeah, on a roller coaster, because he took all my clients, and a year later I didn't have any clients, didn't have a house, didn't have any money, didn't have a car. So I lost
Wow.
everything after my first bars class.
So what's right about this we're not getting?
I had nothing after my first bars class, but I had like this consciousness, like I don't know how to say it, like this moment of consciousness
Right.
where,
You were aware that something had changed.
yeah, and my life wasn't good, because I was always saying that I didn't like my life, that I was very bored, I was always unhappy, I was always angry at people. I was like the worst person ever. And after this year, when I had nothing, I just said, okay, what's next? And I started giving sessions. I started giving classes, and I started living my life and enjoying it. So that's the good thing that happened. I asked for it.
Sure.
It happened. I had to do these uncomfortable things, like losing my company and losing everything, so that I
That
can build again. So that was the nice thing for me. What happened?
I love that you shared that because it's like after some of you know my story that I was shot in India during a terrorist attack, and I lost everything. My marriage ended, my business folded. Um, I couldn't pay my bills. I had investments, so I had to sell properties. I had to uh, drain my. I had two 401ks. I had two of them, sister. I mean, I was set for life, and all of a sudden, I'm having. And thank goodness I had things to fall back on, right? But there I was, just draining my bank account and just learning how to walk again. And yet, I jokingly say, all the time, those terrorists did me a favor. I got out of a bad marriage. I got out of a bad business partnership. I I took some real time for myself to heal. Fortunately, I had money that I could find to support me until I could work again. And then my business actually thrived. I mean, I had this story. I had my first book, Soul Survivor, based on what had happened, and then the second book came out, and I was all over the news. So I had a little bit of cred, I guess you could say it, where people are like, "Oh, girl, been through it. She know a few things. Well, what's her story?" And I just didn't stop. And like you, I was looking for something different. I knew I was in a marriage that wasn't working. I knew it. I knew that my business partner just wasn't, I was kind of supporting all of it. She didn't take my clients, but she would hardly come into work. She didn't want to
Oh
do
yeah,
the work.
I had that business partner too. Well, maybe that's why we liked each other so much, because our story like has
Yeah,
some things, yeah, similarities.
But we do, yeah. There's a little cohesiveness there, which is the same energy of here we are doing it, and other people want to ride our coattails. Know what I mean? It's
Uh,
like I can't tell you how many people have wanted. They want to help me, and then they don't know how to help me because they want to just have a free ride. And I'm like, dude, you gotta contribute a little something, something. But I digress a bit here. So we both find our way to access, right? Through bars.
yes.
You found my book. And then we got to talking at certified facilitators training, which by the way, y'all, it's a lot of work to be a facilitator. There are so many prerequisites. And this is your first year?
This is my first year as a certified facilitator.
And girl, I want to acknowledge you because here's the thing. When I first became a certified facilitator, we had half of the prereqs that we do now. It's double now. And yeah, yes. So I keep every year it's like I'm adding something else. I'm like, man, if I'd had to do this 4 or 5 2017, if I'd had this much, so I want to acknowledge how much chutzpah you got to actually choose. But they want to make it clear in access that you know what you're doing. And so they make sure you have all the tools
Yeah.
to get there.
Yeah.
So
But you know what? I think that every single thing, every single step of the way, every single class, whatever we take, it's like it starts changing you, but also it starts bringing more joy and more money and everything. Like everything starts getting into place if you start using the tools that we use. That's been for me like that.
true story. It's like this. And I hear Gary and Dane talking about a lot. Simone Milas's, other higher ups in the Axis hierarchy. I didn't say that out loud, did I? I did, didn't I? Yeah, girl. It's this thing about being willing to create your life. And people think it's about creating money. And money is not the valuable product. You are. When you're that invitation, the money comes. When you are joyful, money follows joy. I mean, if you notice, it's like, I don't feel like I'm working. Do you? It's
No.
like, I have so much fun facilitating these classes, meeting people, and every class has its own energy. It's like, I can teach, like, one of my specialties is right voice for you. I don't care. Every time I teach, like,
We're bringing to Mexico City, by the way.
yes, we are. We are. And
Yeah.
this is more about what we're going to talk about later, but it's like, this class is a game changer. Game changer. And it's the reason why I became a CF, because I wanted to facilitate right voice for you. I did not realize how weird I am, because I am that person that you don't even have to ask once to sing or perform or whatever. I am just in your face. Like, I don't have that nervous bone in my body. And to become a facilitator, I had to take the class from 2 facilitators, and then I had to take the master class, right? Prerequisites. Here we go again. And then there's other classes you have to take before you can even do that. So I do all the things, but I'm shocked at how many people, and you got to have balls, man, to take this class. Because if you're really that terrified to step into who you are,
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be really interesting. Maybe a bit uncomfortable.
maybe. But I know this about me. If something makes me uncomfortable, I need to run towards it because it's evidently something I need to be looking at. Right?
Yeah,
So
me too.
I've seen people just melt. I've seen people change so much with this one class. It's like a Being You class on steroids. Because Being You is really about valuing you, knowing that you're the valuable product. But the right voice is about stepping into it
Yeah.
unapologetically. I mean, you've taken right voice a couple of times, right?
Several right voice for you. I've taken like 4 or 5 times the class.
Shut up.
Yeah,
That's
but the first time I took it, I told you when we talked. But the first time I took the class, I changed my life because I had my social media account on Instagram, and I went from 3,000 followers or 8,000 followers, I can't remember, to 20,000 followers. And I started selling, and I started being noticed, and people started buying me, and I started doing so many things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
Right.
There's an exercise in the class where you taped yourself, and then you have to post it on social media. And they
You
say that,
label yourself.
yeah, and they say that you should do like a pool, like an energy pool. And I did that thing. Well, that video went viral. I've never had a viral video before.
That's fantastic. I had a music video go viral once.
Yeah,
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 at
yeah.
the castle. I did a music video at the castle that our Access Consciousness owns a castle, y'all. And I did this. I rented this elaborate gown. I mean, unbelievable gown. I thought, well, I'm gonna get my money's worth because this is a $750 rental. This dress is made of feathers, and I am going to utilize this dress. So I had my assistant with her iPhone video me singing in the I'm trying to remember, in the French room was a room that I rented. But yeah, it went viral, which was unheard of, but not 20,000. I didn't get 20,000 followers. I want to know what you know, because you obviously you got it going on.
For me, the energy pools are like the best tool ever. Energy pools, whatever is energetic, I start doing that energetic things that they teach us on Access, and things start moving. Like, for example, I took a bars class this weekend. I took it with a friend. She told me, "Oh, just for fun, come and take a bars class." And I was like,
Nice.
"Okay, yeah." 2 times giving me bars and giving bars, it's perfect. So I went there and I sold 2 places for my foundation in January in that class. I mean, not with the people in that class, but energy started moving, and I started like receiving more messages, more things. I do something energetic, and things like change
Yeah,
instantly.
I can attest to that, because you're such an invitation and such a joy bomb of magnitude that whether you even open your voice, whether you speak a word or not, you are pulling people in.
Yeah.
And you want to know why I recognize that?
Why? Oh, because you're the same.
It's the same energy where I'm not lying. I'm out in the world and people notice me and I don't have to say nothing. I see them checking me out, and it's not like they want to. When I say checking me out, it's not about this, although this is nice. It's about, well, who is she?
Yeah.
What is it? They don't even know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's palatable.
Yeah.
And
know.
and that's right voice. I'm willing to step into all of that. I'm willing to walk into a grocery store and be all of that. I don't have to just be on stage and be all of that. And that's the beauty of right voice, and you got it. You were like, well, I'm going to do this exercise. And, you didn't have any expectations. You just did it. And look what showed up for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Whatever I do, and I'm using that, things start showing up, and I'm like, okay, it works.
They do. So if you guys want more of that in your life, you might want to explore this class we're going to be doing in Mexico City.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be the 12th, January 12th, 13, 14, here in Mexico City. So if you are in the United States but want to come to Mexico City, of course, I am going to host you in the United States or everywhere in the world. If you want to come to this class, I mean, I'm going to host you. And of course, I can tell you where you can stay, what flights you have to take, everything you need so you can come here and you can live this class that is changing lives. I mean, I've seen people that were really afraid of themselves, really afraid of showing themselves, like to be capable to just get with someone that you don't know and start talking to them, people
Right.
have many stories about what other people might think when they come with someone else, when they approach to someone else. So if you want to start being noticed more, if you want to, for example, things that had changed in Right Boys for You is that they get better jobs, they get better salary, because they start like showing themselves in their work. They get viral. They get viral if you want to do that. They get noticed. You get seen. You can see yourself, and everybody can see you.
And
So
here's
that's
something else. Something else. It's like a lot of people think that who they are, there's no value. Well, they're not the value. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. And what if that is exactly what's required? And you've been squandering this energy.
yeah.
You know, there are people out there looking for somebody like you so that they know that they can choose that also, you know?
Yeah. They need to, and everybody in Access, they told us that we are a gift to this world. Everybody's a gift to this world. So how about if we start recognizing what gift we are, and you are, I mean, like the people that want to come to the class, they start recognizing what gift can you be for everybody, because it's different. Everybody's different. Everybody's like a different gift. Everybody's going to change the world in different ways. You just have to be present with that and notice yourself and recognize what you can give to others. And well, that's what Right Voice gives you, the joy of knowing what you are capable of doing, right?
I agree. So we have to take a very quick station identification break for our sponsor, Mandu, the electrocution workout. And they don't like it when I say that, but the commercial will explain a little bit more about that. So hold tight. We'll be right back, y'all.
Mandu is a boutique fitness studio concept, and we are actually the first FDA cleared EMS training workout. And what we do essentially is that we will have a client come in, we will hook them up to a whole body EMS suit, and then we perform a workout on a medical grade device called an eFit device. And that device will send an electrical current to their body through electrodes in these suits that we put on them. And this electrical current is just basically stimulating the electrical current that you already have inside your body. So everybody is made up of electrical impulses. It's what helps you walk, helps you move. We're tapping into that and making it stimulate it more to where we can cause a muscle to actually contract involuntarily. So we can actually create resistance without adding a load to the body. So that is why we, as you see online, it always says ultra low impact. It is scientifically proven. It is absolutely ultra low impact.
And we're back. Mariana Ruiz, the Mexican lady that I make sound Italian, is with us today for the Choosing Happiness podcast. And the crowd goes wild. Mariana. Oh, look, she even has it in Spanish. I love it. For those of you that are not on YouTube, this book speaks a few languages, and one of them is Spanish. So we are delighted to have you with us today. I want to know a little bit more about you. I know how you found Access and all the things. What is something that people do not know about you that you'd like to share?
Oh my God, that I am. I appear to be very like extrovert, but actually I like being by myself all the time. And people always tell me, why don't you see me? Why like where are you? And I'm like, at my home, enjoying of my me time, and that's me. I mean, everybody says no, you're not an introvert, you're an extrovert, and I'm like, no, I hate people, but I love them.
Oh my gosh, you're so funny. I'm a socialite. I am. And I also love my me time. So what's my favorite thing to do in the day? I'm a little addicted to nighttime TV. but the old shit, man. I like Dick Van Dyke Show, the Carol Burnett Show. I mean, I feel sorry for Alyssa because the times that she's come, I've forced her and my mom to sit there and watch these old shows that came out when I was a child. And I don't know what it is about that. I just love that old song and dance, back in the day when it seemed so. I mean, now everything is a little obscene. Not that I have a problem with that, but I love that old style stuff, So that's something people don't know about me is I like that me time also. We have a lot in common, actually, I think.
Yeah, and my
That's it.
mom is just like you. Like she likes like really 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 old movies and TV shows and everything. So I'm like, Mom, why are you watching that all over again if you have watched it like 30 times?
No, right? It's so weird because it's like I watch The Big Bang Theory. Okay. They have two
Wow.
half-hour episodes every night after World News Tonight. And I am glued to it and I can quote it. I can quote the lines. I have seen every episode so many times. My mom was like, "Why are you still watching this?" I said, "It makes me laugh." and and it's stupid funny. And it's recorded laughs too, which is annoying.
Yeah, the recorded laughs.
I mean, I hate recorded laughs. It's like, but the writers were so amazing. So that's something people would not know about me, but I really love that old timey kind of before, like these shows came out the year I was born. Okay. Like, I don't even know why I joke a lot and say I was born in the wrong era because I'm such a lady. I love being a lady. I love dressing up. I love wearing nice clothes. Even during COVID, I wore shoes. I'd be teaching classes and I would get up and go grab something and somebody would, "Are you wearing shoes?" And I would hold up my foot and be like, "Yeah, this is real shoes going on." It's not slippers and like tippy ass heels, the whole thing. Because, that's me being the right voice for me, And sometimes the right voice is no voice at all. How many times have you been in a room and you catch someone's gaze across the room and not a word is spoken, but a lot has been said?
Wow.
Yeah.
And the right voice for you gives you that and that conscious thought. Like sometimes you don't even have to speak to tell everything.
Right. I remember the first time that I went to certified facilitators training for right voice, and Christopher Hughes was facilitating the class. And he told this was towards the end of the class, and he was like, "Okay, each one of you is going to get a whole minute to do a presentation." And a whole minute can seem like a very long time. So what I do, this book had just come out. So I had a copy with me and I went on stage and I sold the book.
Wow.
And then he said, "Okay, now you have 1 minute to encapsulate." No, not 1 minute. Was it whole minute? No, wait a minute. Now I'm trying to remember what it was. Now you've got 2 sentences. That's what it was. You have 2 sentences now to do the same presentation. And I remember I looked at the book. I got up on stage. I looked at the book. I looked at the audience. I looked at the book and I said, "What if you had the best kept secret and you didn't even have to say one word?"
Wow.
And that was it. Because
So
I didn't have to say anything. The book says it all. I wrote that book to speak for others because how many times have we heard Gary and Dane say, "Quit trying to explain access. You sound like you belong to a cult. You need to shut your pie hole." I say pie hole. They're like, so I wrote the book for people that couldn't explain it, that they could go, "Hey, family, if you really want to know what I'm about, read this here book, explain everything." And then if they happen to have any resonance with it, they're going to know within the first couple of chapters, They're either going to go, "That Rüdrani lady is crazy," or, "Wow, maybe I should be looking into these tools."
maybe I should be doing that. That was the thing that like captured myself with your book. Like I saw the title, Choosing Happiness, and I was like, everybody always told me in my life in different parts of my life that I am a very happy person, that I am always smiling, that I'm always like in a good state of my being and everything. So I was like, yeah, I can relate to that. I can relate to happiness. So when I started choosing happiness, I mean, I'm a psychology, but I did something that's called logotherapy, that it's about founding the happy places where you can where you can like link yourself to and not fall.
Huh.
So that's my major, that's my specialty. So
Really?
life, I've always seen myself as someone that is always seeing the happy things in life. So that's what captured me with your book. And then I started reading it, and as I told you in the CF training, I saw all what how you described everything, and how you described how you started using the tools. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my god, this girl is happy. Like, she's always like seeing the good things in life, even though what she experienced. So I said, oh wow. And when I met you, I was like, oh my god, your book, I loved it.
It's funny because I remember being at an event for the, excuse me, allergies a little bit, y'all. So I was at an event for my second book, For the Love of Running. I had both books there. And I remember this boy walking up, and he was like, I don't get it. You lost everything. You're married. I mean, and this is like a young boy, like, I don't know, maybe 11, 12 years old. I can't tell. I've never had children. So
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
he's the microphone, and he's kind of like uppity a little bit about it. He goes, I mean, I don't know if you're real. You're shot by terrorists. Your marriage ends. You have to close your business. You can't walk. And then
Oh
you go and you run this marathon poorly, because I'm basically, it's kind of a joke, the book, because I'm talking about all the things you must not do training for a marathon when your leg has been shattered. It's kind of like the first book was heavy, the second book was funny, and then this was one with tools. And he goes, I don't know why you're so happy. And I said, well, I'm still here. A lot of people
yeah.
wouldn't be. I mean, I got a second chance. So, of course, I'm happy. And he goes, well, I guess you're just the happy lady. And I'll never forget that, because I was like, he called me lady. And I went, well, I am a lady. I was like, this young boy called me a lady. Happy lady. And I thought, you know what? He's right. I've always been that, like you. And I never acknowledged it. I just thought, well, this is who I am. I didn't know how weird I was.
Yeah,
Like,
you are.
we're very different, honey. We're very different,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know. I've always known that I'm different because, yeah, like, of course, you're different when you're different.
Yeah. You don't
Like,
fit in. You try to fit in. You
yeah,
try cutting your arms and legs off to fit in. That doesn't work. This is going to sound egotistical. I'm going to say it anyway. You're the greatest in the room, but you're never as great as you, because you're always pulling back to make other people comfortable. And
yeah,
I had to give that up. And that's the thing that I love about Right Voice is you don't give a fuck anymore. You're like, you know what? I'm going to be me. I don't care what that looks like. I don't care who I lose. I could lose everybody. I don't even know who I am every day. I'm recreating myself all the time.
all the time.
I'm the person that walks into my closet and says, who wants to play today? Who can I wear today? It was like this, y'all can't even see it, but this necklace here said, I want to come out today. I was like, who wants to play with it? I do. It's like this weird stuff where I'm just like, oh, girl, come on.
Well, but you know what? Some of the things that I say to people when they start doing Access is, like, people sometimes feel like really, really, really bad about themselves because they don't have like they don't they think they need something. Like, they have this issue of needing things, needing people, needing certain stuff. And as I talk to everything, and I am always with myself, and I am using the tools of access, and when I started using them more, I started not needing anything, not needing anyone, so I can be with myself. And I think that right voice for you is that be comfortable with who you are,
Right.
have this time of you time. And my mom always say like, why do you like to be alone in your room? Why do you like to be like alone everywhere? Like you don't really like to be with people. And I'm like I am my best company, so I really enjoy my company. And also, if I could say like, what are you going to get with this class? Is you get rid of the need.
Right. The need for approval,
Their need
need
for
to have an image, the need to be revered. I mean, it feels so good to not give a shit what anybody thinks of me. And that's a weird thing to say because this reality, it's all about image.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like your iPhone. This is an image. I drive a Mercedes. GLC stands for good looking car, y'all. I love that
I
car.
love it.
I love that car, but it has nothing to do with the fact that it's a Mercedes. I like nice things for me.
Yeah.
And that's a nice car. It's, you know, it's I had a Mercedes convertible years before. It's just, very rarely do I buy the same make and model. I'm always like, let's try this luxury car. Or maybe we'll get a Bentley. You know, it's like this really weird energy of what would my body enjoy? It's like my body's my best friend because I'm always with it. I'm dragging it along, right? I may as well see, and it's smart. Have you ever noticed? I mean, Mariana, our bodies are more brilliant than we are, honestly.
Totally.
They know, you know, what we would like to eat, even when we think we do. It's like, I remember one Christmas, I kept going out to Christmas dinners with different people. And for some reason, there was rabbit on the menu, like everywhere in the world, like everywhere in Nashville. And I had like 3 times in a row, like, buddy, you want rabbit again? Do you really want rabbit? We're going to have rabbit? Okay. Every time I was like, oh my God, this rabbit's so good. And I had rabbits for pets, y'all. But anyway, I digress.
But your body knows.
My body always has my back. I made frog legs the other night for Celeste and I. We went to this world market. And I went, oh my goddess, frog legs. And she said, do you know how to cook this? I said, I know how to cook anything. I can cook anything. It's called the internet. So I got on the internet and found a recipe. Oh my goddess, so good. It's like a cross between chicken and scallops.
Yeah, it's great. I love the frog legs. I love like in Mexico here, we have like frogs, yes, rabbit, yes, but we have like worms.
Worms?
Yeah, we have the maguey worms. Yeah, we eat them and I love them. And we have the
like earthworms? Like earthworms.
Yeah.
You fry them up?
You fry them. Yeah, you fry them. And
they are having worms. You and I. We're having worms.
We're having worms.
Let's do it, y'all.
We can have grasshoppers also.
Okay, I've had grasshoppers. I had them in China.
Yeah, we eat them as well. So one of my friends says, Mariana, why do you always like the weirdest foods? Like if there are grasshoppers in the menu, I'm like, ooh, grasshoppers. If they have worms, I'm like, ooh, worms. And he's like,
I cannot wait.
Eating insects.
I cannot wait to come play with you. Alyssa, you're going to have to come to New Mexico.
Yeah.
We're going to eat frog legs, worms, and crickets. And it's going to be good. Are they fried crickets so they're nice and crunchy?
Yeah, they have lime and they have like other things, spicy things, like, you know.
I'm down, girl, because I remember my favorite thing when I was in Chengchao. I went to Asia, and I was I did this modeling thing for Honda Motorcycle years ago, but there I am, and we went to this little market where you pick. There's like all these little baskets, and you pick it, and it's like everybody eats together, and they had like these puffed little bread things that were steamed, but my favorite was fried chicken feet. So good. So good. Yeah. So you see the toes and everything, right? It's like that. Yeah. And then they fry them and they're crunchy and you You pick it up, it looks like a chicken foot.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about a chicken leg. I'm not talking about like when you buy chicken.
No, we eat them here too.
It's a foot.
Yeah.
It's so crunchy and delicious. I loved it. It's my favorite thing. That and goat's eyes.
Yeah, we eat them here too.
Goat's eyes?
Yeah,
I love it. See, they don't waste any part of the animal, y'all. And then you can get a goat coat. I'm just joking. I have a few furs. I have 13 fur coats. I have a problem. Collect fur coats.
But you ask them.
You know what? I'm so grateful to these animals for actually contributing their fur. And you know what? They know coming into this life that that's what they're going to do. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. And because I'm so grateful and so joyful for their contribution, I sense that it's reciprocated even in another dimension or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
And that's another thing I love about Access is we tap into this energy that is more than just the present now. It's all and everything, right? It is this space of everything that was before, everything coming after. And you can also choose your life for the future without even knowing what that is, just by following the energy.
Yeah, and recognize that you are choosing, that everything is a choice.
Yeah.
That there's nothing like it's not a choice. Everything you ask for, if it was really uncomfortable, is something that you have chosen. So it can take you to someplace else and give you, I don't know, something about what happened to you.
Sure, peace. You know, it's funny. I remember Gary saying once that that the thing you wanted most on this planet was peace, and yet it didn't exist because even Mother Nature doesn't have a point of view about peace. There's a storm, there's a tornado, there's a flood. We kill a few thousand people. It's okay. Mother Nature doesn't have a problem with it. We're the ones that have the problem. We're like, oh, Mother Earth, there's a big fire, and now all these houses burned, and these people died. And Mother's like, well, you know.
Well, you can choose something else. You can choose another planet.
Something like that. And it's funny because that's what, I don't know. I mean, I wake up every morning with such a state of peace. And I wake up early. I'm that person. I think I was up at 4:30 this morning. And I go to my hot tub and I commune with Mother Earth and I talk to the squirrels and the birds and all the things. And I'm closer to Mother Nature than I am to people. And yet,
Me too.
I do like connecting with people because I find them fascinating. and yet, you know, this planet is so amazing because she doesn't have a point of view. And what would it take for us to not have that point of view and be the voice that we truly be? Like, what if we could be like a tree? You know, it doesn't go, I'm having a bad leaf day. Don't look at me. It's like, hi, here I am. You know, how you doing?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
How you doing? I'm here and I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, I know that I'm really big and all the trees underneath me are not going to get sun and they're going to die. And that's okay because there will be food for the earth and I'm helping provide that. And the squirrels that are dancing around me and the woodpeckers poking holes in me, that's okay too. I mean, when people poke us, we have a point of view. Tree gets a woodpecker, no point of view. What if we could be more like the tree?
I love how you say it. I love how you say it and you relate it to nature because it's true. It's true. We're always having these thoughts, feelings, and emotions about everything and everyone and what is happening, what is going to happen, the future. For example, I told my father earlier today that he was always planning for the future. And if you're always planning for the future, it's going to be there and stay there and you're never getting there in the present, right? Because you're not being present.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
We don't realize we're doing it though, because that's what they tell us to do, like tax planning
Yeah.
and future planning. And then, the whole, it's like, do you have life insurance and all this? I mean, I have a will. I don't need a life insurance. I mean, what am I gonna do? Will everything to my cat? Probably can't live the cat. I would prefer not to. She's 13. You know, she's
I know.
she's long in the tooth, but I'm probably gonna outlive her. And all the stuff. And my mom's always worried about money. And I'm like, lady,
Yeah.
can you relax? I mean, COVID was a very interesting time because things shifted a lot. In the beginning of COVID, my classes were huge. And then COVID kept happening and then the classes got small. And I was like, well, it's a good thing that I've done a lot of financial planning because I'm going to be okay, more or less, and then things picked up again. But it's just this thing where I'm not going to buy into this reality's point of view about pretty much anything.
Yeah, and access consciousness gives you the entry of these thoughts, like of these things we are talking about. I mean, I didn't get it at first. I didn't get it when I was 4 years ago. I just followed an energy. I just knew that something was going to change. For example, when I gave my first bar session, I gave it to a girl that just had this trouble in her life, like really, really, really bad trouble in her life. And she said, okay, I'm taking pills. I'm taking pills because she went to the psychiatrist and everything. And I was like, can I run your bars? And she said the next day to me, could you please come like every week? And I was like, why? Because I didn't believe in access. I didn't. I mean, me being a psychologist, I studied 5 years my career and 5 years specialty. So they told me that if you do a bar session, everything is going to be okay. And I was like, no.
Right. That can't be true. I know. I'm a relationship counselor. I was the same way. And yet I noticed that when I use the tools with my clients, things were actually changing for them for the better. And whether they stayed together or not, it was a healthier separation or communion, because I also do relationship done different. I love really allowed us. I've got an online class coming up. I don't know if maybe you want to be up on that, because this actually before I go to New Mexico. It's in the middle of. I'll give you the deets. I'll put them below to you guys in case you're interested. But I love that class. I had one couple. Well, I had a couple come and take a bars class. This is before they got married. And I knew that he came because she dragged him there, okay? They do the bars class and they get married. Then during COVID, like years later, she takes my relationship done different class. And she goes, yeah, we're going through a divorce. Just didn't work out, blah, blah, blah. He's a slob and he doesn't like all my new age stuff. And I went, okay. And they had lives before with other children, but they had this sexual chemistry that was undeniable. So occasionally they would do the makeup sex, all the stuff. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. There's obviously still something going on here. What else is truly possible? And on the last day, she says to me, so last night we got together to sign the divorce papers. And I took the papers, I put my hands on them, and I said, what if we did this relationship differently? And he goes, what do you have in mind? And she said, well, we obviously cannot live together, but we have great chemistry. We love each other's kids. What if we stayed married and we just dated?
Wow.
They stayed in their own houses, did not go through the divorce.
Wow.
So they have benefits of being married. And she lived in her house. Well, she lived in her house with her parents, I think, is what ended up happening. And he lived in his house with his 2 kids. And it was great because they would go on dates. Sometimes they'd have sleepovers or whatever, but it gave them the space. And a lot of people would be like, y'all don't live in the same house.
Yeah.
We see what the writing on the wall. They're not going to stay together. And yet that was the thing that made it sexier, that made it work. And, it's like right voice for you, where you actually choose what works for you. It doesn't have to be what this reality says is real and true. Because this reality would be like, they're in trouble. No, they're not. They're smart. They know it doesn't work for them to live together. They know that what's more fun is to have their own space, get together and do the nasty or whatever, get it going on, have fun.
The fun parts of our relationship.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with living together, as you said.
Right. I mean, it's funny, when my mom moved in, she was saying to me, but if I'm living here, what are you going to do? You're not going to date us. Well, Mom, I might bring somebody home. I don't know. Hadn't happened yet, but you never know. I am open to the possibilities. It just hasn't been something I've been seeking out in this 10 seconds, but I'm not closed-minded to it. But it was funny how she had just decided, I move in, that's it. You will never sleep with another man again. It's going to be over for you. I'm like, I doubt I'll get married again. I tried it. I didn't want to do it the first time, but he sold me on the insurance. And it worked out because I got shot in India and it was really good I had that insurance. So my body knew something. Other than that, moving along. I digress. I know we sound like a couple of crazy people right now.
Crazy people, but happy people.
Yeah.
And that's what Right Voice for You gives you. Like, maybe to just acknowledge that you are happy and you are crazy, and that's okay.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. I never really wanted to get married. I never really wanted to have kids. But in Mexico, it's like, if you're not married and you don't have kids, then you are like really weird, and maybe you don't like boys, maybe you like girls.
Right.
Yeah. In Mexico, weird. If you're not married and you don't have kids, it's because you don't like boys.
Yeah, and the thing is what if you don't like boys? Who cares?
Who cares? But they like, it's something like not said, but that everybody thinks.
Yeah, they imply it, right?
Yeah. So for me, it was like, okay, no, I knew the energy because I had boyfriends who wanted to get married with me, and I knew the energy behind the marriage and the kids and everything. And I was like, no, I'm too much of a. I mean, I like too much to be with myself, so I can't focus on some kids.
I want to watch Dick Van Dyke, and not have somebody tell me we got to watch something else.
Yeah. That was it.
That's why Celeste has a TV in her bedroom, because then if she decides she wants to watch the Hallmark Channel, I can watch Dick Van Dyke and she can go watch, the Women in Peril Channel or whatever it is. Yeah. That's one thing. I honor my mother. I allow her to have her space. And, we don't agree on stuff. We agree on some stuff. We don't agree on other things. And it's okay. And that's the honoring piece too, because you're honoring yourself also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Right Voice for You. Honoring you.
Yeah.
Seeing yourself as a valuable product. Show. I don't know. We could go on and on and on about this. I know. I do have to ask you one question, though, because it is called the Choosing Happiness podcast. So my listeners would like to know, Mariana, yes. Che cosa per questo spiace? Non lo so. How do you get your happy on?
I love many things. I cannot oh yeah, well, I like to do musical theater.
What? Did you just say?
No. Since I was 18, I did musical theater and I did musical plays here in Mexico. I mean, schoolwork and everything. But when they say me, okay, there's a new production, do you want to be in? I'm like, yeah.
Okay. Now you got to sing us a little ditty. Here's your microphone. What you going to sing us?
I don't know now, but I don't know. Maybe what can I sing? I don't know. Like, first I was afraid, I was petrified. Keep thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong, and I grew strong. And I learned how to get along, and so you're back. From out of
space.
What?
I was trying to remember the words. I don't know if I know them all. And pull you back from outer space. Is that right?
Yeah, I just moved in, and I don't know it anymore.
Wouldn't you ever try to hurt me with goodbyes? Did you think I'd crumble? Did you think I'd lay me down and die? You know that
I will survive. So we have to do karaoke here in Mexico.
girl, shut the front door. You do not have to ask me twice.
I know.
So y'all, if you come and take this class, one night we're just gonna do some karaoke. This is no joke. It's gonna happen. You're gonna be on stage. You're gonna like it. Maybe you'll have a beer or something and it'll be okay. Liquid courage, whatever it takes. But if you choose right voice for you, that's gonna happen.
That's gonna happen.
Yep.
Yeah. Your voice is going to be there out in the world.
I love it. I can't wait. How much fun are we gonna have?
Oof.
Eating crickets. Eating crickets. It's so funny to me. Oh Lord. All right. Well, girl, thank you so much for being my guest. And where can our people find you?
Oh, well, I am on Instagram as @access. I don't know how to say the
_
Mar Diaz of Mariana Diaz, Mar Diaz with a Z, CF.
Okay.
Because I am a CF.
Oh, look, I have like sparkles behind me all of a sudden. How did that happen?
How nice. I don't know.
That's magical. I was like, all I did was this and it went.
Wow.
Didn't do it again though. Well, that's okay. If y'all is on the YouTube, you would have seen that. All right, then we'll make sure to have all the links below so y'all can find this lady because she's fabulous.
Thank you.
Class, and we got a free class, like a taster coming up Friday.
Yeah, on Friday.
7 p.m. CST, which is New Mexico and Nashville time, as well as Houston, Texas time. So if you want to get a little tasty taste of what this class could be for you, that link going to be below too.
Yeah.
So,
and we are doing this Instagram live tomorrow on my Instagram with
that's
you.
right.
Right?
Woo, girl.
Send you to the Mexican world.
I love it.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh no, I'm so mature. It's okay. I've gotten over it. I hope y'all can too. Well, if you enjoyed this conversation, by all means, hit the subscribe button. Maybe share this conversation with somebody you know it could be a contribution to. Maybe they need to get some happy. You're like, please get some happy. Watch this. Maybe take the class. I don't know. And yeah, until next time, y'all. Ciao, ciao for now. Thank you so much for choosing happiness. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe, share, and give us a like. And if you want more happy, subscribe to the Choosing Happiness membership where you can play directly with me, Rüdrani Devi, the happiness lady. How does it get any better than that?